Hey guys, what's up? This is Mario here, bringing you guys another video. In the background you're going to be seeing some Crota's End gameplay. If not, you're going to be seeing some Destiny gameplay. But today I wanted to tell you guys about the Destiny 1.1.1 update and all of the features that it's brought. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video, and so here we go. So in case you don't know, you can log into Destiny right now and you will download a patch update. In this patch update, Bungie has fixed a few weapon types, buffs and nerfs, as well as changes to the weekly heroic strike and some general issues. There'll be since this patch is quite a long one, there'll be timestamps in the description to the different sections that you guys can watch. So we'll start off with the general section of this patch. So they fixed a bunch of just generic issues. We'll begin from the top of the post. They fixed an issue in which armor with perks that increase ammo capacity have resulted in ammo loss upon respawning. So that was a bug that they fixed. Decreased over penetration value for weapons with armor piercing perks, such as armor piercing rounds and high caliber rounds. They fixed an issue where items from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 demo were using the old power values, and they've now been updated to use the full game power values. The Song of Iryu weapon tooltip now advertises the correct magazine size, so instead of 35 it will now say the correct size, which is 87. The shoot to loot perk now has a 2-second cooldown, since people were glitching the game out, and when you ran over an ammo pack, you could quickly shoot it and it would give you additional ammo. The Darkbreaker perk will now correctly damage Hive Shriekers. That was a bug, that was a very weird bug that I encountered. Snap Discharge will now increase attack speed as per the description. The Thunderer perk now has priority on the 4th Horseman tooltip. And the full auto has some fixed issues in which the weapon perk stopped working while the trigger was being held down. So now we move on to the main part of the patch, which is weapon buffs. So there's been 5 weapon types that have been adjusted with this patch, and they are auto rifles, pulse rifles, hand cannons, fusion rifles, and shotguns. Let's start off with auto rifles. So auto rifles have reduced base damage by 2.5% and reduced effective range values. So this is going to change how auto rifles work overall. Now we have pulse rifles, and basically the only change to them is that there's an increased base damage by 9.7%, which is quite drastic considering pulse rifles was, before the patch, some of the weakest weapons in the game. So now we're going to have to see how they perform after the patch. For hand cannons, there is a slightly reduced effective range and a slightly reduced initial accuracy. So it's going to be harder. Basically, this change was made to stop people from sniping with hand cannons from across the map. Basically, if you have a Hawk Moon on PS4 or PS3, you can snipe people from across the map. It's pretty insane, but now that's been nerfed, basically. For fusion rifles, there's a widened blast pattern on a fusion rifle burst cone, and reduced starting ammo in PvP. And then finally, for shotguns, there's increased damage for all PvE enemies, which is a 100% increase. There's reduced high-end range values, the damage fall-off will start sooner on a shotgun, and reduced starting ammunition in PvP. Of course, that's been changed for everything apart from sniper rifles. So now we move on to the activities section of the patch. This is only for strikes. That's the only thing that's been changed. The main thing being that weekly heroic strikes will now matchmake. So you can go into the weekly heroic strike and it will put you in with 2 other players, and you can run through it and get 9 free strange coins. And then also strikes will be less likely to repeat themselves in matchmaking rotations for full fire teams. Now we move on to the PvP changes. There's been some general changes as well as an Iron Banner update. So for general changes, players will now unlock all of the playlists, so that's Control, Clash, Rumble and Skirmish. They'll unlock all of them simultaneously after you unlock the Crucible. They added a new notification when Crucible modes unlock. Crucible maps will be less likely to repeat in matchmaking rotations for full fire teams. Guardians no longer drop heavy ammo when killed in PvP. Guardians now drop much less special ammo when killed in PvP. Completed matches will now award gear with the proper power level, and they fixed a bug where there was no audio playing for the bullet that kills them, which is a bit of a weird bug actually. But now let's move on to the Iron Banner changes. The Iron Banner playlist will now contain smaller maps in the rotation, And they also changed the focused aggression bounty, which is 20 headshots with an auto rifle. They changed that so you can get headshots with a pulse rifle, scout rifle, or hand cannon. Now we move on to the items fixes. So let's take a look at some of these. They fixed an issue where Zhou would not carry exotic engrams every single week. Crew's end completion emblems will now be sent to the postmaster in case the player's inventory is full. Ammo consumables will now work if used when player inventory is full. That was a bit of a weird glitch. I actually didn't know about that one. And they finally fixed an issue that prevented qualifying players who had deleted their characters from claiming the Tumbler Sparrow. So that's obviously been fixed, so now you can claim the Tumbler Sparrow if you deleted your character. Now we move on to the user interface changes. The character inventory screen now displays faction reputation and weekly mark counters. So basically this will show you basically can go to your inventory screen and look at all of your reputation gains. Players in public spaces will no longer see voice notifications when a player in a match-made fire team enters. And finally, players will now see improved notifications when teammates join and depart team and fire team chat channels. Fine, and then now we get on to the parts where you might want to skip. We have the Grimoire, which is, I'm going to go over all of the changes just for you guys, since I'm going to be breaking it down. But you guys can skip it. There'll be a link in the description to the next part if you just want to skip. The Combined Arms Grimoire cards will now unlock when completing a Clash or Control game. The House of Wolves card will now unlock upon the start of the Ishtar Collective story mission. Guardian abilities will now be granted when a player enters orbit. Siege Dancer's card will now be granted upon the start of the Dust Palace strike. Completing Crota's End now adds to the raid introduction Grimoire card's completed statistic. Sorry, I can't get my words right today. The Iryu Grimoire card will now unlock appropriately, as well as the Siege of the Warmind card. They also fixed Grimoire scores for the following cards: Omnigul, Will of Crota, Iryu the Deathsinger, Crota Son of Oryx, The Awakening, The Will of Crota, Crota's End, Ascendant Sword, Pantheon, Sky Shock, The Cauldron, Might of Crota, and then Ghost Fragments, Rasputin, Rasputin 2, and Hive 4. So now we move on to the technical fixes that Bungie have put in place. So let's start off with the first thing, which is that DLC and patch systems have been improved. The Xbox One upsell from the trial version to full version will no longer make you leave the game. Improved networking resilience into packet reordering and network improvements for certain routers. So that'll be good, especially for internet connections. That'll be very useful. And finally, there's an edit at the bottom of the post, which is about the Vex Mythoclast, which is an exotic fusion rifle from the Vault of Glass. And essentially, a bug was introduced in this patch, where it would spawn with less ammo in the magazine and reserves in PvP. Since the Vex Mythoclast is a fusion rifle, it was affected by the previously mentioned fusion rifle changes, and they intend to correct the issues in a future release. So that is all of the patch notes for this 1.1.1 update. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy all of the things that come from this patch. Personally, I think this is going to be great, as pulse rifles are going to be more powerful and actually maybe useful. So let us know what you guys think of this patch in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, remember to smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming content. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Twitch, links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in another video. So until then, ciao.